Hello, my name's Lisa, and if this is your first time here, then thank you for choosing to click on this video. If you are a returning subscriber, then just know your support is very much appreciated. I'd like to say a massive thank you to my channel members for the monetary support, and a huge thank you to the person who sent me this video. Incidentally, if you do want to send me any content, then the instructions on how to do that are down in the description below. You can email me the content and it can be uploaded to the Google Drive, or you will also find my Instagram down there where you can DM me. If you are not following me on Instagram and you send me a DM, can you start it with the word content, and then I'm more likely to open that other folder up and see what's in there. Today's video is going to be a LiveGood new product launch. So without further ado, let's dive right in, shall we?
Happy Monday. Super exciting one for us today, yes, as today is also the launch of our LiveGood Essential Oil Pack. It is now live on the website. So
long awaited.
Very exciting. Yes, definitely long awaited because we were hoping to have it before the holidays, but we're here.
Wonder what went wrong and why it is long awaited. Why was it not launched before Christmas? Hopefully, they will tell us as we continue.
So many of you have heard of and have also have a lot of experience and used essential oils. Essential oils are the concentrated oils of beneficial plants. Okay, Ryan's going to go deep into the science behind it, and then we're going to give you suggested uses, how to properly dose them, in what form you're using, and I guess a little bit more of our personal experience with essential oils as well.
They're going to explain to us how to use the essential oils, the doses, and other things. What qualifications have they got? Are they aromatherapists? Do they have any qualifications in anything to do with essential oils? No, they don't. So why should we listen to them?
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Lisa. We'll break it into two areas, right? One will say like sort of the science side of essential oils, and the second thing is the utility and how to use them, how to get the most out of them. I feel like similar to what Nader sometimes says, I feel like I've sort of had ignorance on fire because you've been using essential oils around our family for as long as I can remember, and I've paid no attention to it. The only thing I will do is add a little bit of a breathe to my wrist before I go to sleep. But otherwise, I do see you diffusing throughout the house, but I've never really paid a lot of mind to it until recently.
You're freely admitting there, Ryan, that you've never paid any attention to it. Is that maybe because it wasn't making you any money before? Because Lisa was diffusing someone else's essential oils, so it was of no consequence to you to know anything about it? And in my opinion, you still really don't know anything about it, as will be corroborated going forward, won't it?
So LiveGood decided to launch, and it honestly became such an eye-opening learning curve for me, and so much fun and so much science, because wow, there is a lot of validity to the use of essential oils. I mean, we're talking, I don't know, 3 millennia, 3,000 plus years or more that I guess essential oils have been being isolated from plants. But I mean, we know that plants are medicine, right? I mean, we know that steroids and hormones and chemotherapeutic agents and pain relievers are derived out of plants. So
you're right. We do know that medicines are made out of plants, but the main difference is medicines that people take have been tried and tested by people who are qualified to do that. I don't believe this is the case with your product.
We've known that forever. We know that food is medicine. Lisa and I will talk about that very often. And a lot of it has to do with the plants and the phytoactive compounds, the bioactive compounds that are in plants. I mean, there's so many of them. When it comes to essential oils, we're really talking about terpenes. There's that word, Lisa, terpenes. Terpenes are the primary constituent of the essential oil. There's like 30,000 different terpene compounds, but that's basically what gives it the aroma. the essence. And that's why they call them essential oils. It doesn't mean it's essential the same way amino acids are essential, where the body doesn't make them, you have to get them exogenously from your diet. No, essential in this case had to do just more to do with the essence of the plant, the aroma.
There's one thing for sure, oils are not essential. You can live your life perfectly well without them.
Anyway, yeah, that's a little bit about the science. Here's what I really like about essential oils. I love the fact that these compounds are so involved in the biosynthesis of so many biological systems in our body. There's so many things that they do. But what's interesting is how do they accomplish that? So there's really kind of three great ways I was going to throw out to you real quick. The first and most obvious is the olfactory sense. So our sense of smell.
So diffusing.
Yeah, so diffusing or topical, really anything. No, diffusing, topical, put it into a spray bottle.
We've only been going a few minutes and he's contradicting himself already. He says they can be used for anything and then says, no, actually they can't. Which is it?
Using it direct, putting it in a bath, all the different things we'll talk about. But again, just the aroma, right? Just the fact that we smell it. The olfactory bulb goes down the cranial nerve. It's like the shortest nerve, and it goes into the brain. And from there, it goes into the limbic system and it triggers all these different other body systems to react. And it's all due to a sense of smell. It can lower blood pressure. It can reduce stress. It can manage your inflammatory response. It can have something to do with your immune system, all just by smelling it.
Are you making medical claims there, Ryan? You know that's not allowed. Young Living got a letter sent to them by the FDA telling them they were not allowed to say that essential oils helped with any person's symptoms. So therefore that suggests to me that you're not allowed to say that either, doesn't it?
Which is why I think this is like the rabbit hole he went down when he started looking into essential oils, because again, how long that I've been using them, and he kind of pays no attention. I have a diffuser in every single room of our house.
Yeah.
And now like he's magically, his eyes have like opened up and he's really understanding the powerful benefits of essential oils.
Well, think about it. The volatility, it's a volatile oil, which means it's near a gas state, right? It's due to a high vapor pressure. It's sitting at rest, and that's why you can smell it so fast, because it's really going from liquid to gas really very, very readily. But yeah, so that's awesome. And it's also, they do not love water. It's hydrophobic, so they don't love water, which is another reason why they cross cell walls and cell membranes so easily. They have antimicrobial properties, so antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. You'll hear us talk about things about mold in the house. If you live in Florida, it's freaking ubiquitous. It's almost everywhere. There's so much utility for oils. All right, but that was it. That was olfactory.
Asking for a friend here, Ryan. Can you make it make sense by showing me proof of what you're saying? No, you can't, can you?
The second thing is topical. So think about topical use. It can absorb across the cell membranes, the cell walls. It can get through the skin. It has low molecular weight, which we've talked about in the past. I mean, I think around 300 Daltons, but typically anything below 500 is accepted as going across. It's fat loving, so it does go across cell membrane. So you will get some systemic absorption of essential oil into the bloodstream through topical application, which would really be transdermal, but that's technical. So there's that aspect of it as well. And then also there's the inhalation. So a lot of meds like the nebulizers, inhalers, there's a lot of factors, but ultimately these things we breathe in, they travel down into our lungs, into what's called the alveolar, and there's a little thin membrane, it's only one cell thick, and that's where the diffusion layer is into the bloodstream. So you inhale, and it's possible that you're getting a fair amount of absorption in the bloodstream just by inhaling, which we'll talk about aromatically via diffuser, all the benefits of that as well. Particle size again matters, and again, it's just a neat, cool delivery system. Now, it's not quite as tightly controlled as pharmaceutical drugs are, as via dosing. We don't really have any guidelines, and I think, Lisa, didn't you say there's no real board or agency that oversees dosing or sourcing?
Right.
Or
I mean, they are on the GRAS list, which
some are, most
generally recognized as safe, but again, they don't give you the proper dosing in the right form. So yeah, there's a lot.
You'll see. Why? Why haven't they been evaluated? It's not that they can't be, it's that you haven't done that. So I dispute what you're saying there.
So I guess before we go into the uses and whatnot, let's talk about purity, the potency, the testing.
Oh, sure.
So I've actually had this question several times, so I'm going to address it first. And it has to do with these labels of things. So food grade, therapeutic grade, aromatherapy grade. And it's because of the way essential oils are regulated, there is no like legal term, or not regulated. There's no like real legal term called therapeutic grade or food grade.
Okay.
A lot of these,
And yet we call it therapeutic grade.
yeah, but that's fine.
Right.
That's fine. There's no real recognized definition, but you have to understand this, that any pure, undiluted, unadulterated essential oil is naturally therapeutic or aromatherapy grade. That's the whole point of using that.
So you're actually admitting there, Lisa, that it's a waste of time having therapeutic grade put onto your box because it means absolutely nothing.
So, well, it's not like a label like a USDA organic. It still defines what it's used for, and it really has to do with the purity and potency. So going to that, knowing that anybody can put that on their label, anybody can advertise that, anybody can market it like that, you really have to do your own due diligence and find out how things are properly tested.
Yeah.
You need to understand that, because I mean, essential oils are everywhere. You can walk into any store and find an essential oil with some cool label and it looks great.
You can walk into any store and pick up an essential oil. Why should we choose yours then?
They are not created equal. They probably won't give you the proper testing. They don't probably have that information, the way they source them. It's not direct from the source to the bottle. So you have to know that. So you have to know your purity and your potency. And that's one thing where obviously it goes with anything that we have in Live Good, but it's one of the most important things for us. And that's why we love to give you all of the certificates of analysis, all the testing right there on our website. We don't want you to have to search for them, to ask for them. We want you to know everything.
We are here on the Live Good website, and all it gives us is the description of the essential oils. So we've got the lemon, and it tells us the key features, the benefits, and the suggestions for use. Same with the lavender, tea tree, peppermint, frankincense, and their immunity blend. Not anywhere on here does it say anything about it being tested. So what Lisa is saying there is a lie.
So Ryan will go into a little bit of how we sourced and how pure and potent ours are.
And you're spot on to say, I mean, counterfeiting and adulteration is dishonest. It's a breach of morals, and ultimately it's unsafe for the consumer.
Speaking of real quick, unsafe, if you've ever heard about people having adverse reactions to essential oils, a lot of times it is those synthetic ones, those adulterated ones, because they have other additives in them that are actually can be toxic to you. They can be endocrine disruptors, just lots of things. So you may have heard that so-and-so had a adverse reaction, and it's probably something that's not pure.
That's not always the case though, is it, Lisa? It can also be because the materials used are not of good quality.
Yeah, I think dishonest marketing is a big reason for it. Obviously, there's a significant cost with sourcing ethically sourced, pure, undiluted essential oil, and that's exactly what we have here in Live Good is the pure, undiluted essential oils. Testing is interesting. I did spend a lot of effort and time in that department. Wanted to make sure. So, if for those of you that have followed along, before we were trying to launch, we had a snag because we failed some testing. And in that example, it failed the ISO spec in Australia. Our tea tree failed the ISO spec from Australia, which is where we source the tea tree leaves from. It was shown as a Chinese tea tree, which it's a common maneuver or a tactic for some of these unscrupulous brands. And then the other one was our peppermint. It was a dementholized. It looked like corn mint, had this weird funky characteristics to it, so we had to fail that one as well. So when you have a chance, on the website now are the certificates of it. They're not COAs. they're testing. And the testing, there's only like really two main people that are capable of testing and getting extremely detailed into it to ensure that we don't have any contaminants. And when you go through, you'll see the test, and you'll see the word terpene again show up a lot of different places, but you'll definitely see what's in every single oil. So super important. Very proud of that. And that's, I think from a consumer perspective, that's what you guys want to see. And that's
Right.
I've scoured every single page on your website and I did not find any evidence of any testing whatsoever. So, maybe you want to update your website before you start telling people there's information on there that isn't.
So a lot of times when also asked the questions, how do we compare to, and we always, the top brands that, we hear of doTERRA, Young Living. I mean, we are directly comparable, guys. We do all the same testing for purity and potency. We literally have our source to our bottle. I mean, all the same stuff. But again, our prices are amazing. So that's where we really differ, obviously.
You're saying that your essential oils are on a par with Young Living, but we all know about the testing for Young Living. And if you don't, then I recommend you watch this video up here, and that will explain a lot about what went on in Young Living. And believe me, I wouldn't want to be compared with them.
So
let's talk about LiveGood's products.
I was going to say, let's get into the exciting part of it that you guys have all here waiting for. So clearly I'm going to let's just say, I'm going to say a cute little box. It's also magnetic in the front. So great little organizational toolkit. Okay, so we do have, I'll just go through our our blends, excuse me. And these are all 15 milliliters. Okay, I get that question often too. These are all 15 mLs. We have our immunity blend. Ryan, what's in the immunity blend? Name 5.
Yeah, so clove, cinnamon, orange, eucalyptus, and rosemary.
Amazing. Lemon, tea tree, peppermint, which is crooked in there, lavender, and frankincense. So all of these, what is it? Member price? Member price, crazy, $49.95.
Oh wow, yeah.
I'm going to pull it up on the website because we just launched it, and I'll give you the non-member price as well.
Thought she was going to give us the non-member price. Well, she obviously forgot because she didn't, did she?
Okay, so going through our oils, do you want to go through? Well, let's talk about you kind of talked about the uses, right? So let's just say,
the different ways.
Yeah, different ways to use.
Okay.
There are 3 different ways to use, but 2 of them are the ones that we're really going to talk about, because the third one, we really advise you to be working with like a well-versed,
know what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You either be well-versed or working with someone that's well-versed in essential oils. That,
in other words, don't listen to you because you don't know what you're talking about.
But for most part, it's the aromatherapy part. Okay, you put it in your diffuser. Easy enough, adding 5 to 10 drops of your essential oil into the diffuser, and it diffuses into your home. Now, I have many different sizes of diffusers. Like one of mine is very big, so I'm obviously going to add. Personally, I'm going to add 15 drops to that because it carries a lot more water. So you also just make your discretion based on the size of your diffuser.
We will have a diffuser.
Yes.
We don't have one now. So for those that you are looking, look for something that it doesn't have to be huge, 100 ml. Most of them are made of plastic, but if you're going to choose plastic, make sure it's BPA free plastic. A timer is helpful so that it automatically shuts off. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Well, I mean, they make some with like with reeds in them. Which is fine. You don't have to plug them in or anything, but what happens is you have to change the reed often.
Yeah.
So once it kind of absorbs all that oil and goes out, I mean, it doesn't last all that long. So definitely one that you need to plug in. But again, we're going to have one.
Yep.
We're going to have one. Another way, as Ryan spoke about, is spraying. So I order a bunch of stuff off of Amazon, and you always want to make sure you're in like a dark glass bottle to prevent that UV, to protect it from the UV.
Right.
So this is a little spray thing. Okay. So I just take some of the essential oils and, I'll dilute.
So your dilution, though, this can apply to topical too, but if you're looking for a 1, a 2, 3, 5, 10% dilution, 10 being more concentrated, if you base it on a teaspoon, that's 10 drops per teaspoon for 10%, 5 drops per teaspoon of oil or water for 5%, and so on.
Okay.
I hope that helps. Yep.
Just to clarify what he said there, do not ever place these oils directly on your skin unless they have been diluted, and do not put them into a spray bottle and spray them into the atmosphere unless they are diluted. Otherwise, they can be extremely harmful.
So just another way that you could use it, aromatherapy wise.
And then topically.
And then topically.
Right.
So this is also where it really comes into play, how Ryan was talking about the dilution. I know you can use it both ways, but topically, you do want to be careful with essential oils, because especially some of them are like almost termed like hot essential oils. Like I'm just going to give an example. We don't have it here, but oregano. Like if you were to put oregano on your skin, it could actually burn you.
It's not the only one that can burn you, though, is it, Lisa? Perhaps at this point you should have given more examples, in my opinion.
So you want to be careful with that. And also everybody's skin and areas are different.
Sure.
So to help prevent any irritation, you want to use a carrier oil. So when Ryan was talking about the dilute to like a teaspoon of the carrier oil, fractionated coconut oil is my favorite, but you can also use jojoba oil, olive oil,
Almond oil,
other things that are also super hydrating for your skin. You get dual benefit there.
And I think some oils do better in different carrier oils.
Okay.
Or I mean, I think, yes, so some essentials should be used. Like I think tea tree should be in jojoba, but like, again, there's a lot of personal preference. There's some science behind it too. So we are not aromatherapists. So we're not really well educated in that, but we've definitely used the oils a lot. And as you can tell, we're becoming very passionate about it and making sure that we're doing it in a safe and
safe and effective way.
Safe and effective.
I've said it once, and it looks like I'm going to have to say it again. You are not aromatherapist, so therefore you should not be giving this advice to anybody. You're saying that specific oils should go with specific carrier oils, and yet you're not giving any examples because you don't know what you're talking about. Stop it, because this is people's health that you are messing about with.
And so here's another one you can get. It's a roller. So the rolling head pops out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you can make it. So this is a great one. I'm just going to use lavender, for example, for before bed. So you make your little lavender roller, you put the fractionated coconut oil or whatever carrier oil you're going to use.
Right.
And then we'll give you some tips of where you can rub it, rubbing it, on your wrist or whatnot, or just, again, smelling it. So another way, yes, topically. And I guess while we're talking about topically, I'll just tell you some good placement spots. The wrist, behind the neck, behind the ears, the navel. I also like temples. I also like on the inside of the feet. The reason I do that, almost like the inside of the ankle area, is because it's rarely touched. So a lot of times if I'm using something before I'm going to bed, like put it down there and I know it's not really going to touch much.
You're telling us where to put it, but you're not telling us why. Why should we be putting essential oils there? What are they going to do for us, in your opinion?
And then what I was talking about is the third one is orally. But again, this should only be used orally, only some of them as well. If you have experience with essential oils, or if you're working with someone that's well versed in essential oils, or you follow a certified oil therapist that gives the proper dosing of it. And I think the same thing that goes, I'm just going to throw it out there now because I get the question already with the kids and pets. So same thing, work with someone that is well versed with essential oils when in regards to veterinarian that's well versed with essential oils.
In other words, don't listen to them because they have absolutely no idea what they are talking about. Do not use these essential oils on your children and on your pets.
And just know, like, in your home, diffusing should be no different for your children and your animals. It should just be as safe as long as you're using a pure essential oil. Now, when it comes to more topically and orally, that's a totally different ballgame.
I wonder what the dogs think with the powerful olfactory senses that they have.
Right. I mean, the article I was reading today was actually pretty cool. How how well dogs actually respond to it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to talk to our oily vet friend and see what we know about.
Yes, we have an affiliate that's known as the oily vet.
Great.
Does anyone think it would have made more sense to find out all of this information before coming live? Because I do. You're supposed to be telling us about these products, how wonderful they are, how they're going to work, and yet you haven't researched half of the information. In my opinion, that's just not good enough.
Good stuff. Okay, so what about some of the uses of these oils? Let's get into those.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
You
go.
want to start with the
Well, I have it in order just the way
Okay.
that it's going to go up on the website
All right.
too. Is lemon. So
Okay.
limon is.
lemon?
Yep. Let's do it. Obviously, you guys, well, this comes from cold pressing, so it's not through distillation like the other oils are, but direct from the rind.
good.
Yeah, it smells amazing, and just like you would expect. I mean, what are you going to do with lemon? Well, it's refreshing, it's invigorating. I think a lot of times it's used for bad odor, malodors. So things like you can put it in a cotton ball and put it into an area that doesn't smell good. Could be a bathroom, right? Could be in the back of a refrigerator,
Right.
right?
Laundry?
Yeah, of course. So
Yeah.
I'll just read you some of the things that I put up on here. But so diffusing, again, like 5 drops, if you're using a 100 ml diffuser, so 5 drops, 5 to 10 drops, you can just diffuse it. Can increase lift mood, improve job performance. The cotton ball thing I told you about, there's a cleaning. You can use it for cleaning, add it to your cleaners. And you can add a few drops to your gym laundry, like Lisa said.
Do you know what else you can do? You can add fresh lemon squeezed into a bottle, dilute it with water, and do all the things he's just said without spending any money on an essential oil.
Okay, so I've been using essential oils for a very long time. So I do put a drop in my water.
I just put a couple of slices of fresh lemon into my water.
Okay, so that's kind of like my lemon water. Very good. I also love to diffuse it with peppermint because it actually, peppermint has like an uplifting mood, so it can kind of help you waken up. So I like putting the two together because it's a very fresh, awakening scent. And like Ryan said, in cleaners, like I use amber bottles, I make my own cleaner, and the fresh lemon scent, I mean, is always delicious, necessary. So those are my favorite lemon.
All right, awesome. All right, so next up was lavender. Stress, sleep, mood. A lot has to do with mood. Like I wish our 11-year-old was here. She was going to come on and show you how she makes her spray bottle. And she's she's just walking around many times in the house, just spraying, but mostly on her bed. She'll use it on her sheets, which is great. I absolutely love that. You can.
I'm very happy that she was busy and did not attend this session and be in your video, because I would only have to blur her out.
Apply topically direct to behind your ears, on your temples, behind your on your wrist folds. I use lavender. I absolutely love it. As a natural perfume, you can actually apply it topically as a natural perfume. It's excellent for do-it-yourself recipes. There's probably, I mean, just again, so many different recipes online, from household cleaning to de-stressing to mood to a lot of right.
And lavender and lemon also go really well together. So you'll kind of find your blends that you like. And I mix scents all the time and just kind of see what, freshens up the home. But lavender, again, this roller is perfect for lavender because I love to put it on my wrist, smell it. I also like the lavender above the navel. Just really good placements. And like Ryan said, sleep, that's my preferred use for it. But also any times of stress, or if my house is kind of a little too active, I might start putting in the diffusers everywhere just to tone it down a bit. So I mean, there's so many uses. Great stuff. Lavender is awesome. And it's also like can be known as, like, if you want to call it, like your red oil. So anything that you think is like red, like you're angry or you're frustrated, or it's calming. So think a red mood.
Oh, I forgot to say lavender's from Bulgaria too, and it's part of it. It's distilled.
I use lavender occasionally when I can't sleep, but I've got it in a moisturizer made of lavender. It lasts a hell of a lot longer than a bottle of essential oil and costs about a quarter of the price and still works just as effectively. I also buy a lavender smelling fabric conditioner and wash our bedding in it, and that also helps to aid sleep and again costs a lot less money.
Tea tree oil is up next, Lisa.
Okay, tea tree oil. I mean,
5 drops in a diffuser.
Yes.
you know, that's for a great refresh space. This is one of those ones that's great for air quality, indoor air quality.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, because of its antibacterial benefit, that's the one I love to use with gym clothes. So I'll put some drops straight into the laundry, or any like sports clothing, any like really dirty laundry. If you got someone's a fisherman and you got the fishy stink on, you know, clothing, really helps there. Also, speaking of laundry, you can get the wool dryer balls, and that's what I use. You know, we don't use fabric softeners or anything like that with scents because they're not good for you.
I'm 55 years old, and for the whole of my life, I have worn clothes that have had fabric conditioner washed through them, and I've never had a problem. Neither has anyone else in my family. So please tell me what the issue is. You're saying it's not good for you, but why isn't it good for you?
So I have dryer balls, go online, Amazon, wool dryer balls, and I just put like
That's a
maybe
good
a
tip.
few drops onto each dryer ball when I throw it in there. So tea tree oil is really great for that. It's been well known for use because of the antibacterial and fungal for athlete's foot, for nail fungus.
Ringworm, nail
ringworm.
fungus.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
even
mean,
for warts. That's
warts.
for quite a bit for warts. And that's actually applying it directly using a cotton swab.
Right.
That's not through a dilution, I don't believe.
Insect bites.
It's good for warts, and that is applying it directly, you believe. So you don't know, you're telling people to do that, and yet you don't know if that is going to cause a problem. Well, if you don't know, Ryan, then you shouldn't be giving that advice, in my opinion.
You know, there's so many uses.
But tea tree should be applied almost always with a carrier
Yeah.
oil, just because of, again, some of the sensitivities that can occur. And going back to lemon too, sometimes you can get a photosensitivity if you're using it directly on the skin. So just be cautious of that. If your skin kind of heats up and gets a superficial rash, that could be just part of that photosensitivity reaction. But with tea tree too, I don't think you're supposed to consume it orally.
Right.
Is that the one we were talking about? Where
Yes.
if you had it in a mouthwash, it's designed to be spit out.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and obviously putting in a mouthwash is the antibacterial properties of it, but making sure, you know,
You're not
not
ingesting it. Okay. Yeah, and tea tree we mentioned is from Australia. So from the leaves.
In my humble opinion, you should never ingest essential oils, ever.
All right. So next up, Lisa, is the peppermint. Ooh, so many amazing uses with peppermint. It's unbelievable.
right. I mean, you know, peppermint, we all love peppermint.
Right.
But again, I like it in a diffuser because it's awakening. So maybe it's a great thing to have in an office.
In office space.
Really keeps you alert. You can put it little dabs of the carrier oil behind your ears. I would not advise the temple. I did do that to Ryan once.
Okay.
It can be a little strong.
Yeah,
You know, it just depends on how much you use. I like to use it for myself orally as like a breath mint. So just make sure it's only one drop because it is powerful. I mean, powerful.
I asked Google, can you ingest peppermint oil? And the answer, according to Healthline, is it's important to be careful that you are not ingesting peppermint essential oil.
Let's do your uses.
All right, yeah. So, okay, that was for peppermint. So diffuse 5 drops again, multitude of benefits, including sinus allergy relief, improved focus, concentration. Also muscle pain, aches, headache, 1 to 2 drops behind the ears. Be careful with the temples, like Lisa said. Freshen breath, 1 drop on the tongue. Oral, borderline, yes, but it is very, very nice for freshening the breath.
More unproven medical claims there.
Let's go on to frankincense, Lisa. I know this is one that many people
I mean,
love.
this is like the king
This
of
is from
oils.
India, by the way. This is Boswellia serrata. This is out of India, but this is a king for sure for a state of relaxation. Or what else? What else, Lisa?
Well, my favorite, I talk about the skin health benefits. So putting it with a little bit of carrier oil, or if you use a facial oil, putting a drop into with your facial oil, and it helps with fine lines, wrinkles, dark spots, tightening. I mean, amazing stuff. So soothing to the skin, promoting cellular health, stimulates the immune system. I mean, it talks about having anti-tumor, anti-seizure properties. I mean, it's just such a great way to add it to any health regimen, aromatically, you know, topically, and only in certain circumstances orally. But again, those are, need to be well versed in oils for that.
Yeah, I was surprised by how much of the skincare frankincense is good for, from the acne blemishes and the dark spots, which I'm starting to pick up too. There's kind of those age spots. So it's unbelievable.
And we have even more medical claims. Don't forget, these two are not aromatherapists. Just because you have used essential oils in a diffuser for years does not make you an expert. So, would I recommend rubbing any of these things into my normal everyday products? No, I would not. You should speak to a doctor before using any kind of essential oil.
Yeah.
All right. And then the last one was the immunity blend. So we
Yes.
talked about what's in the immunity blend. Again, clove, cinnamon, orange, eucalyptus, and rosemary.
Now, this is
And-
something I have going in our house like all the time. Because especially during your so-called, cold and flu season, but when I know like a bunch of kids are sick in my children's classes, I mean, I just all about prevention, right? So I will, honestly, when my kids are like walking out the door, I'll put a little bit mixed in the carrier oil behind their neck. I mean, they think I'm crazy. I'm trying to always put essential oils on them.
You should leave your kids alone. And I agree. I think you're crazy as well.
But really, the immunity blend is so good at protecting yourself and boosting your immune system. So always diffusing it in the home just for like that clean, pure immunity boost.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's our 6-pack. They are only available in a pack at this time. We will continue to evaluate and look to add on more oils in the future and possibly go into singles. But right now, this is the way that it's available.
And like I said, $49.95 for members, $69.95 for non-members, regardless. Amazing, amazing deal.
All right. That's it for us, guys. Have a
All right.
great rest of your Monday. Super productive. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Their big selling point seems to be that they are so much cheaper than other well-known brands. But does that mean that they are lower quality? Well, who knows? Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Have an amazing day. Give the video a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.